days of unrest, L.A. Mayor Karen Bass posted early Sunday morning, just to be clear, the National Guard has not been deployed in the city of Los Angeles. President Trump criticized Bass and Newsom, calling them incompetent. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth warned, if violence continues, active duty Marines at Camp Pendleton will also be mobilized. They are on high alert. Newsom responded, the Secretary of Defense is now threatening to deploy active duty Marines on American soil against its own citizens. This is deranged behavior.
That's Fox's Lucas Tomlinson. Just hours from now, President Trump's order banning citizens of 12 countries from entering the U.S. goes into effect. The president says the travel ban is a direct result of the anti-Semitic attack in Boulder, Colorado last weekend. Among the countries impacted, Iran, Afghanistan, Sudan, and Yemen. Senate Republicans are working on possible changes to the massive tax cut and spending package referred to by President Trump as the Big Beautiful Bill. Office of Management and Budget Director Russ Vogt defended the tax cuts on Fox News Sunday.
When you just extend tax relief, you're in a situation where it looks like this major cost. And of course, that's not a cost. If it would not to occur, it would be a major tax increase to the American people.
House Speaker Mike Johnson says the bill has the largest mandatory spending cut to the federal government in history. Democrats say the legislation will devastate social programs. America's listening to Fox News.
From the Fox News Podcasts Network.
I'm Janice Dean, Fox News senior meteorologist and host of the Janice Dean Podcast. Join me every Sunday as I focus on stories of hope and people who are truly rays of sunshine in their community and across the world. Be sure to subscribe to the Janice Dean Podcast at foxnewspodcast.com or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And don't forget to spread the sunshine.
America's listening to Fox News. From the Fox News Podcasts Network.
This is Jason Chaffetz from the Jason in the House podcast. Join me every Monday to dive deeper into the latest political headlines and chat with remarkable guests to hear their take on American life, politics, and entertainment. And don't forget, there's always somebody doing something stupid somewhere.
Listen and follow now at foxnewspodcast.com
or wherever you download podcasts.
Must listen to podcasts from Fox News Audio.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
14 people were displaced. Cloudy and 65 degrees. I'm Jake McDaniel. Here's what's trending at 11:03. This was after an apartment caught on fire on the far east side of Indy Saturday evening. Firefighters arrived at the Spanish Oaks Apartments, which is off 38th Street and North German Church Road. They were able to put the fire out in just 20 minutes, but at least 4 apartment units were affected by the fire. Indianapolis firefighters says 11 of those displaced were adults and 3 were children. Firefighters believe the fire happened from food left unattended on a stove. Indiana House Republicans are making public safety a top priority this legislative session. Jarrett Lewis has more.
One of those public safety bills signed into law by Indiana Governor Mike Braun is House Enrolled Act 1014, authored by State Representative Alex Zimmerman from North Vernon. He says this new law offers some common sense solutions.
This new law is about protecting Hoosiers. It cracks down on drug dealers and repeat offenders, strengthens penalties for individuals who commit crimes while in the country illegally, and keeps obscene performances out of taxpayer-funded spaces.
That new law, along with House Enrolled Act 1232, will go into effect July 1st. Jarrett Lewis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
And the Indiana Fever beat the Chicago Sky 79-52 last night. Head coach Stephanie White was not at last night's game for personal reasons, but first assistant Austin Kelly took over. They play the Atlanta Dream Tuesday evening, and tip-off is at 7:30. Here's your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Showers from overnight will be exiting before mid-morning. Clouds decrease to partly cloudy. High temperatures getting into the upper 70s.
With TV's Ryan Morris, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
At the IHSAA, we love when student athletes understand the real purpose of playing high school sports, like McKenna Cruz from Greenwood Community High School.
I love competing for my high school, but I don't play for accolades, records, or to earn college scholarships. For me, it's about more than winning, playing time, or trophies. I play high school sports because they help me grow alongside my friends, develop character and integrity, and learn life lessons I'll carry with me forever. Soccer reminds me of the power of teamwork and how we can help each other succeed. Track teaches me to focus on the things I can control and not worry about outside noise. High school sports show me the value of discipline, grit, and representing my community with dignity. They prepare me for life, and that's why I play.
I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Neidig. Support student athletes like McKenna by buying a ticket to your high school's athletic events. This is being a champion of high school sports. This is empowering student athletes. This is your IHSAA.
Denny doesn't have his headphones on. We can't start until you have your headphones on.
Wait, I'm not ready.
Kielynn, what are you doing? Let's go.
I hope the Pacers are ready.
Are we up?
We are up and on. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Central Indiana. Wait a minute, I got to start my clock.
So, Terry,
know exactly
I told
to
Terry I
talk 5
didn't have a
minutes.
cup. So she comes in, she goes, here, I found one in the trash. I just wanted a glass of water, and she brings me a cup that was in the trash.
Wasn't in the trash. He's so paranoid.
Well,
Somebody's gonna
who
get
wants
it.
to drink from a
Start
cup
my
in the
clock.
trash? Okay. Did the clock get started?
It started.
All right.
Hi, everybody. It's the first day. On 93 WIBC, Terri Stacy, Denny Smith.
Good morning. Don't forget our buddy Kielynn May.
And
It's
she's
game
here.
day.
It is game day, people. Pacers, Thunder, 8 o'clock tonight.
You'll see
Hit
some
it.
beautiful flags for the Pacers and the Fever behind these two lovely ladies if you go to YouTube.
Yeah, we're streaming.
Yeah,
We're streaming live.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, we're excited. Chris Denari is going to join us here in a bit, but yeah, it's game day.
In 49 states, it's just basketball, but this is Indiana.
Off the mark, won't go.
Rebound, Indiana. 8 seconds to go.
The Pacers with a chance to win it.
Halliburton has it with 3, driving with 2.
Pulls up, jump shot.
And hitting! It's good! With 3/10 of a second to go.
Ultimate confidence in himself.
Tyrese Halliburton does it again.
Boom, baby!
How many more times can this team do that?
He's a baller, man. He's a hooper.
자, 언더독인 인디애나가 익숙한 상황을 맞이했는데 할리버튼 버텨내는데
Wait a minute. What is that? Is that from Egypt?
All the international broadcasts.
Wow!
Sweet. Baby.
Man, reliving that moment for the rest of my life.
It's so
Kai,
fun.
you were
Oh
a
my
magician on.
goodness.
Fun.
Oh my gosh, that was well done.
Yeah, you know what? It is fun. And I know there's a lot of other things that are happening as well. But for the minute, it is game day, and we are really excited. A lot of people downtown having brunch today and other things. But to see what it's done across the state when you see social media and you see all the things that are posted with people that have their geese, dressed up in Pacers outfits.
Now some people might not understand the legend of the goose.
Yeah,
the
goose.
concrete goose on the
Right.
front porch.
We used to dress them up, and then they kind of went away. And now there are a few of you that have them. You're dressing them up in Pacer apparel, and it's pretty cool. Denny, do you know the place, the mobile home park on Pendleton Pike? And I think it's called Corin's Mobile Home Park. Is between Midhofer and I don't know. I'm not good with directions. Anyway, there's been a cow there, a giant concrete cow. It's a statue that has been out there for decades, and they paint it oftentimes, and so now we've got then the Colts, and so now we have it all in blue and gold, and it's got the Pacer logo and yes sirs, and so and the skeletons. Those of you with Halloween skeletons in your yards that you put wigs on and dressed up, it's really cool. And
JW Marriott's going to get a new little design.
they better
here in
hurry
a bit.
up. They better hurry up. I saw
Time
them
is
putting a
ticking.
sign on the Arts Garden yesterday morning when we were coming.
And it's up. They finished it this
Did
morning.
they finish it?
Uh-huh.
Well, anyway, it's pretty cool. And here's just an observation. And I know I want to leave plenty of time for Chris Denari for our next guest, because it's a super cool guest too. But anyway, is that sports, what we're watching, when you look at who's watching, you see the watch places, the places that are having watch parties and everything, and you see the crowds, and it truly, at that moment, and in these times when we have something to celebrate like this, when it comes to our sports teams, everything else goes out the door. Politics, race, economic, how you do financially, it all goes out the door.
It's historically significant. It goes all the way back to ancient times. There's something about the way our genetics all come together for one common good. And that's why we have the Roman Colosseum, Terry.
I mean,
here
the
we go.
crowds just all got into it, and here we are.
I told you. How many times do they think about the Roman Empire?
Yeah. Oh, God, here we go.
Always goes back to the Roman
And
Empire.
you give me a can out of the
Always.
trash. Oh, gosh, I'm drinking out of it.
But it really is true.
You
what it
mentioned
does.
the watch parties. There's Gamebridge, obviously. Those tickets went quick.
Sold
even
out.
with having to pay for them.
Yeah.
$5 is perfect
I
amount.
mean, yeah.
if you're
I mean,
gonna
kind of
charge.
general admission, you pick
Boy,
your
do
seats.
the Pacers
go
know
early.
how to say thank you to their group.
I know.
Oh,
I
my
know.
gosh.
I know.
Well, there's plenty of other watch parties too. So throughout the show, I'll give you a list of some and some deals that you can get for this game day.
Right.
Plenty of them, along with plenty of other stuff to go over today.
Yeah. It's just, I just love what this is doing, whether that is in your local communities for your high schools or whatever, what sports is able to do. And I know there's some bad stuff, too, that will happen on occasion with, mouthy parents, but when it comes to the little ones. But for the most part, it really does join everybody together when you're watching something like this happen. And again, all that divided stuff that we are all so divided, you think about. But then when it comes to sports, we're all right there together. And I think it's kind of cool. That was just my observation.
It is cool.
It was probably stupid.
I'm looking
but-
forward to this next interview you've got
Yeah.
here from Central Indiana, Terry. This will be good.
It's pretty cool. Yesterday we had a chance. Kielynn and I came in. Denny had to go and do the home and garden show. So early in the morning yesterday, while a McCordsville dentist was driving to play in the United States Open.
Unbelievable.
And,
Well, he
Dentist by
qualified for
day,
it, so yeah.
golfer by
Pennsylvania.
weekend.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty cool story. He qualified, and obviously he's very, very busy right now. So we pre-taped it, and we really have a heart for this guy now.
You're gonna love him,
You
too.
really are too. Dr. Vogt, for those of you that go to the dentist in McCordsville and see Dr.
Matt Vogt.
Matt Vogt. He is on his way to compete, and it's a pretty cool story. We'll do that next. You'll hear that conversation. Thanks for joining us this morning online, on social media, and wherever else you're following on air too. Obviously, we're glad you're here. It's 93 WIBC.
The month of May is raced by at Miss M's Home and Garden and Sundown Gardens. JMV here, the June
Welcome back to the first day on 93 WIBC. It is Terri Stacy along with Kielynn Talley. And the 125th U.S. Open begins Thursday at Oakmont Country Club in Oakmont, Pennsylvania. And while we're all cheering like crazy for our Indiana Pacers, I want you to keep an eye on a McCordsville dentist who earned his way into the field of 156 golfers hoping to win the U.S. Open. And joining us now is Dr. Matt Vogt. Dr. Vogt, how are you?
I'm great. I'm on my way to Pittsburgh right now, so this is perfect timing. So much.
Thank you very much for making time for us. Dr. Vogt is the founder of The Dentists at Gateway Crossing in McCordsville. And the truth is, Doctor, I live in Hancock County, and I was searching for a new dentist, and your name popped up first, but it was all about you qualifying.
That's so funny. You know, like with all this happening and all this stuff that's gone on this week, it's like, yeah, I'm still a dentist. I'll be in the office the week after the Open. Like, that's still happening.
Because that's really the truth. I was looking for a dentist. Mine retired, and your name popped up, but it wasn't about it was about you qualifying for the U.S. Open. So
that's so funny.
That's how I found out.
We'd be happy to see you. Just not. Unfortunately, I will be out of office next week.
Well, that's okay. That's okay. Congratulations, because there were 10,000 golfers that tried to qualify, and you made it. And at that moment, when you qualified, what did that feel like?
It was just a rush of all sorts of emotions, and I'll just the quick summary of all those is, you know, I grew up in Pittsburgh, so I caddied at Oakmont. There's that rush of emotion, you know. There's, you know, truthfully, the loss of my father a few months ago. There was that emotion. And then there's just the emotion of, you play golf as a kid, you grow up, and you hit putts or shots on the range, and you think, okay, this is to win the Masters, or this is to qualify for the U.S. Open, or whatever those things are. And then just to process that actually happening, I'm actually still trying to process what's going on. But I feel like once I get on the grounds today and start the routine and get going here, I feel like it'll kind of start to hit me a little bit more. But honestly, it still really hasn't hit me.
Can you talk about your journey through golf, getting to this point? What inspired you to even start golf?
As a kid, I just, like a lot of kids, you know, I picked it up in 9th grade, and it was fun, and we spent all day at the golf course, and that's how we got better, and we had fun with it. And then that took me to Butler University, and that's how I ended up in Indy. I was on a golf scholarship to Butler because I was fortunate to improve quite a bit throughout high school. I only lasted about 3 semesters at Butler. It was really hard, honestly, and I kind of had to just make a decision to leave the golf team to focus on school. You know, fortunately, college and dental school went well, and then my journey back into golf kind of coincides with when I started our dental practice. I started in 2018, and that's when I started to get the bug again, just not trying to make the U.S. Open, just trying to play here and there, and trying to maybe play in tournaments and just get better for the love of getting better. And I've been very, very fortunate and very, very grateful for the growth of our practice as our patients refer their friends and their families and things over the years. That's kind of coincided with me, fortunately, having a little more flexibility with my schedule, because now we have 2 doctors in our practice. We have an amazing team, and we kind of divide and conquer when it comes to taking care of everybody. I've just been fortunate to have more time and flexibility, and here we are. I could not have been in this position without, again, having a great team at the office, having a great support system at home. I'm just so appreciative of the people around me.
Dr. Matt Vogt is with us. Only 47 made it in out of the 10,000. How many rounds of golf do you play in Walla Walla, Washington to qualify?
So the way it works is there's local qualifiers, which are 18 holes, and there's a lot of those around the country. So I played mine in Columbus, Indiana, at Otter Creek Golf Course. Awesome place there as well. So then the qualifier in Washington is 36 holes. You have a choice of where you can go for the 36-hole day, the longest day in golf. And basically, I saw this golf course, which looked like it fit my strengths of my game. And I had a good friend who was caddying for me. And we said, well, instead of maybe going over to one of these sites in Ohio where there's a bunch of tour players and really good players, like, let's just go have a fun weekend together in Washington and try out there. So obviously the choice paid off. 36 holes on Monday, and now we're driving to Oakmont on Saturday.
That's
so
amazing.
Pretty cool.
It is, as you said, it is golf's longest day. Did it feel like the longest day?
I cannot express to you how long that day felt. I'm so glad you asked this, because this is fun. We were at the Denny's in Walla Walla, Washington at 4:30. Yeah. You know, they didn't even have the hotel breakfast out that early, so we were at this Denny's. I'm nervous in a way of, like, you know, I know what's possible that day, but also it's so hard to be one of 2 qualifiers at my site. So you barely get breakfast down. I think when I stepped off the golf course, it was like maybe 6 o'clock Western time. And then after that, I mean, in a moment, in a flash, like my life changed. You know, media and just all the stuff with qualifying. We were at the golf course basically celebrating until close to dark, and then I didn't get to sleep until I was up for about 24 hours. It was truly golf's longest day, but my longest day too.
Kielynn?
Has it phased you having to deal with all this press and media? You're obviously well-spoken. Does it phase you, aside from being in the U.S. Opens?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I'm glad you asked that. Like, it's just been lots of process. I don't want to say I became famous overnight, but it became a massive story overnight. And so immediately there's, lots of inquiries to talk. And quite honestly, there's a lot of like chatter and things that aren't so fun to read about yourself or opinions that people have in the comments too. And my biggest thing this week has been you got to get out of the comments on social media, I think the biggest thing, honestly, I've learned already this week is that I know that when I'm at the office, I'm 100% present. I know I'm taking care of patients. I want to be there for my team. I work a little bit on the side with other dentists, just helping them to learn how to do what I did and just how to run a business and how to be a leader, because that's hard. We don't get taught that in school. I just learned I have to accept that I'm not perfect and I'm always doing my best in everything I do. That's enough. That's all I can do, when it comes to trying to talk to everybody who reaches out.
That's right.
Or to satisfy everybody, it's not possible. So it's been honestly a huge growth experience even in the last 3 days or whatever.
I imagine that is true. Kielynn has another question.
What a beautiful and brave thing it is. And for this month being Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, being present is such a big thing. How does that play into your golf time too?
That's a great question. You guys are asking so many good questions.
Oh, bless your heart.
Yeah.
You've got such a fun story to tell.
No, this is awesome. So, I think I've always searched for presence in my life, especially over the last few years. I feel like it's really easy as we get older and, we have, like I have a daughter now, and just life tends to get busier organically. So you're always like yearning to be more present. And in golf, it's like the main thing you have to do. And my caddy and I, especially on, maybe the last 9 holes on Monday, where, we know what's going on. The cameras are out there following us at that point. We've followed the leaderboard. We know what's at stake. We just kept talking to each other and saying, let's stick to our process. Let's stay present. It's just you and me out here and nobody else. And there's so many parallels to life and mental health with that. But how could you go wrong if you're in the present moment, whatever you're doing? So I think there's so many. It's such an important thing with golf, and I'm going to try to do that this week. I just have to soak it all in. I have to focus on what I need to do to play my best. But at the end of the day, it's got to be present. You can't think about the what ifs, because who knows if they'll come true or not.
Well, yeah, and you got to get back to being a dentist. You got to, because I need you.
Yeah. Yeah, I will. Win or lose, first place, last place. The week after the Open, I will be back.
You were, as you mentioned, a caddy at Oakmont, and I hope, fingers crossed, that that's going to help you too. But you speak of your caddy, and I know that the relationships between your caddy, you, is very special. Who are you taking with you? Who is your caddy?
Yeah, so there's 2 people here that I can talk about. So my caddy in the local qualifier here in the state, and then in Washington, is a good friend, Nitin Gupta, who plays at the same golf club as me. And honestly, I could go on and on about him and how special our bond recently has been, but I think it's just so important, again, when you're out there and things are happening, like to have someone who's in your court, you're focused on things together and supporting each other. It's so important as the pressure rises and rises. So I said this, I would not have qualified without him on the bag. I mean, I guess I could have, but I would not have without him. And we got to share, kind of some time last night at Highland, where we play golf here in Indy, just with all the members sending me off to Pittsburgh, and it was pretty special.
Yeah.
But then here in Oakmont, I mean, it's the U.S. Open. It's ratcheted up even further. So I have a very good friend, one of my best friends, who lives near the course, who has played the course a number of times, and we play a lot of high-level golf together. He's going to be on the bag for me, but Nitin is going to be traveling out, fortunately, and he'll be there, right alongside of us outside the ropes for the week. Again, it just kind of goes back to like, there's these people in my life who are doing these things for me, and sometimes I just want to say, why are you doing these things? This is incredible, and I'm just very appreciative and grateful for people like them.
That is Dr. Matt Vogt. And again, he's the founder of the Dentist at Gateway Crossing in McCordsville. And he's on his way, or was on his way yesterday, to Pennsylvania as he gets set to compete in the U.S. Open, which is huge.
What an awesome thing.
It's huge when you look at the numbers. I've got more of this conversation because I want you to hear him talk about his dad, who recently passed away, as this is coming up Father's Day weekend when he'll be participating. And he just lost his dad a couple months ago. So we'll talk about that. Also, you'll hear the rest of that conversation. Denny's got dollars and cents.
Zombie real estate.
Oh, I thought you were going to say apocalypse.
Man,
well,
I did too.
Zombie real estate.
Okay. All right. Kielynn, can we take a break now?
Let's do it. Let's get to this conversation.
Yep. News is coming up next. Thanks for joining us here on the first day on 93 WIBC.
Cashback is not a
good times. It's 11:32. This is the first day on 93 WIBC. Terri Stacy, Denny Smith, and Kielynn Talley. Yesterday, Kielynn and I, if you're just joining us, you've missed the first part of our conversation with Dr. Matt Vogt. We're going to continue that here in just a moment, but in case you're just joining us, Dr. Matt Vogt is the founder of The Dentists at Gateway Crossing in McCordsville, and he was driving yesterday from Indy to Pennsylvania because he qualified last week for the U.S. Open. It's an amazing story. It truly is an amazing story. He's a wonderful human being. He really is. The U.S. Open begins on Thursday, and here's the rest of our conversation. Before we let you go, you're playing during Father's Day weekend, and I lost my father a couple years ago, and I understand the grief that comes along with losing a dad, especially at special moments like this. And I want to ask you a little bit about your father, and if your father, I know for so many golfers, that first experience on a golf course was with their dad. Was your dad an avid golfer too, or tell us about that relationship and how you'll be thinking about him this coming weekend?
Well, first off, God bless. I'm so sorry, and I know that losing a parent or losing a father is not a club that anyone is ever ready to become a part of, and I've learned that over the last few months. And again, I'm going to keep going back to this, but the support of fellow people who that's happened to has been amazing. My dad, growing up in Pittsburgh, and being definitely an adopted Hoosier, and I love being in Indy, but being a Yinzer at heart, as they'd say, we shared a special bond over Pittsburgh and sports, and some of that was golf. We got out on the golf course a little bit, but it was really just he always loved and supported whatever I did. I when I was a kid and I showed up and probably told him, "Hey, Dad, instead of playing baseball, which you've spent all this time and money on, in the last however many years, I want to play golf now." I mean, he was just like, "Okay, let's do it," So he was a great supporter, and he was always my biggest fan. It's going to be really special on Father's Day, now having a 15-month-old daughter myself.
Yeah.
And I think all I can do is I know he's watching me, and as I'm sure you have these moments too. There's times where I'm like, I can't wait to tell Dad about this.
Yeah.
And then you flash back to, well, I can't do that, but I try to make time to still feel like I'm telling him about it, And
absolutely.
I hope he's, I can't wait to tell him about this week, no matter how it goes.
He's so proud. He's so proud and watching over you. You know that. Yeah. And our condolences for sure, because I truly do understand what that is, what that feels like. I know you're driving, and I don't want to keep you much longer, but currently in the world ranking, you're 1,173. That is amazing. That is truly amazing. Didn't know where you ranked, but that's huge. If you win this 125th U.S. Open, would you continue dentistry, or what would you do then?
Oh, that's a tough question. So for this week, if you're, I'll answer your question very direct. Like, it's an incredible feat for someone who does this for a living, who has dedicated their life, who has calluses that are 5 times the size of mine on their hands. These guys who do this for a living. So if that happens, I'm definitely, I think we're all going to wake up from a dream the day after, and but I honestly, the golf is funny because you want to play your best. Obviously, you want to play a golf tournament and finish as high as you can, but I think creating expectation for that just creates unnecessary pressure. Yeah. And I truly have no idea how this week will go. And you have to be accepting of the fact that it could go poorly, or it could go great. You just kind of have to let it happen in my mind. So, I am a dentist through and through. Depending on how the week goes, things could get real interesting as far as more people reaching out to chat and everything. But no, I know you're looking for a new dentist. I will commit on air. I will commit on air to being your dentist. And no, for the record, no, playing a lot of golf doesn't affect my dentistry. No, I'm not going to be thinking about hitting the ball when I'm doing root canals. No, I'll be your dentist, and I will.
Oh my gosh!
I will do it to the best of my ability. So.
That is so funny. Kielynn, do you have anything before we say goodbye?
Just a happy Father's Day, indeed. You've gone through so many different walks of life. With this new one, with your 15-month-old, Charlotte is such a cute name. Do you have any?
It's a popular one.
Do you have any advice for fathers or anyone going through this walk of life?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked. So my hope with my story, it's funny because this has just gotten, the story has gotten big beyond my wildest dreams, and not really by I didn't necessarily ask for that, but my goal is to just inspire with my story, to say you can have a great career, and in my case, in our case at the office, our awesome team, like, you can take great care of people, you can obviously have a family, and you can still, it's never too late to follow your dreams or accomplish things that you want to accomplish. And, for me, that's golf, but for others, that could be like a hobby that you really want to pursue. That could be literally anything in the world. And I think it takes sacrifice, it takes intentionality, and sometimes it takes just doing something that's important to you that other people might think is foolish or a waste of time. I just hope my story can inspire, and I truly, my thoughts are with everybody who's been affected by cancer, like my father was. Anyone who's struggling or I know Father's Day this weekend can be tough, and I'd like to think we're all in that together if that's the case. So,
I believe that. I believe that too.
Hope to inspire.
Oh my goodness, you have. And I'll tell you, Dr. Matt Vogt, he is the founder of The Dentist at Gateway Crossing in McCordsville, and he's headed off to the 125th U.S. Open, which he qualified for earlier in the week. We are so proud of you. We are so excited for you, and we'll be cheering loud. Kielynn, anything else before we let him go?
Thank you. Just thank you so much. All of our thoughts are with you.
Thank you all. I'll see you on the other side.
Congratulations on getting there. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That is Dr. Matt Vogt. How about that? We're so excited for him. I know we've got a lot to cheer about right now, but I didn't want you to forget about this guy because it's a big, big deal. Begins on Thursday, the U.S. Open, and I hope he makes the cut. Everybody keep thinking about him.
We got a couple of announcements. Today would be, those of you who grew up in Indianapolis, Channel 6, we had the Three Stooges every Saturday morning. Today is Harlow Hickenlooper's 98th birthday.
How about that, everybody?
He passed away a few years ago. But
happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday,
happy birthday. Get ready for the pie in the face. See
look at Kielynn. How funny is that?
She thinks we're weird. But anyway, Harlow, his real name was Hal Fryer.
He would look into the camera and he would sing happy birthday every day. And he would sing it like that. And then and at the end, the pie came.
Yeah.
I'm so sad I missed that era.
Yeah, Curly
I'm
Myers.
I'm going to have to go back and rewatch.
Curly Myers was his sidekick and played the guitar. And Curly was really a good sidekick, but he was sterile from all the nonsense that was going on. But Harlow always got the pie in the face.
Harlow Hickenlooper, happy heavenly birthday. Okay, so it is a Pacer, big Pacer day, Pacer game day. And I know there are watch parties. We're going to check in with Chris Denari next hour, who was live earlier this morning at Gainbridge because they've got a huge watch party going on. But those tickets sold out like that. There's no tickets to be had for that one. I don't think. None. $5 tickets, general admission,
so quick.
Gone. But there are others.
There are other watch parties that you can go to. JMV is going to be over at Tom's Watch Bar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be, game starts at 8, so head on over there around then. Fisher's, if you don't want to come all the way downtown and you are on the north side, Fisher's is doing a watch party at the Nickel Plate District Amphitheater, and it's just an outdoor bash. It's free. There will be food trucks and vendors, and that's going to start off at 7. And then another one that I saw, which I'm a fan of, is at the Hangar Indy. Those are part of like the little pedal bars.
At the Hangar?
Yeah. Yep, the little pedal bars that go around. The Hangar has $30 deal for food, 2 cocktail tickets, a shot, and they'll have some games and prizes to go with it. So $30 for a little night out to watch the game.
Like a vaccine?
Yeah. Okay. No, not that type of shot.
So we get your flu shot?
Probably Fireball or something. But anyway, I want to say publicly a thank you to the Pacers organization. What a class act. $5 tickets. For
it's
something,
pretty cool.
It is it's a class move by just a great organization.
They're a great organization. There are a ton of things that they do behind the scenes that we'll never know. I mean, community-wise, the things that they do, the things that they give. I know if I've had organizations that needed something and they were hoping that maybe the Pacers could maybe donate a ball or something, you just make a phone call and they're always happy to help organizations like that for donations. And they're just we're lucky to have them. And I'm so happy for all of
Here's another one. Terry, you'll like this one. This is another watch party in Broad Ripple at the Brick House Dueling Pianos bar. They are having a watch party. They've got Brittany on the keys 6 to 8 p.m., but then the game will start, and there will be drink specials, $3 Boom Baby shots.
Wow.
Let's get
got a
Terry one of
boom
those.
Somebody's
baby
getting
shot.
hammered.
$4 domestic
What's in a
beer,
boom baby
$6
shot?
Deep Eddy vodka, $15 domestic beer buckets. Let's go.
Wow.
We're rolling.
It's a big day, and there's lots of places. Maybe you just, whatever you do, here's what I say, because I'm superstitious. Whatever you were doing last game one,
Do it
during
again.
game one, whatever you were wearing,
Do it
wherever
again.
you were,
If you're on the
whatever you were
toilet,
eating,
stay on the toilet.
I just
Terry
am
will
one
find
of
you
those people,
if you don't.
that really feels like we all have to do exactly what we were doing. Although with this team, I don't know that superstition even plays a part of
They
it.
had-
Or luck
Magic
even, because
might be.
they are just so good.
They had so
I
many
love 'em.
turnovers in the first half. If
I was crazy.
if they just fixed that, and yet they came back from that.
It's
Unbelievable.
amazing. Truly, truly. Everybody says still a Cinderella story, or perhaps they're the underdogs. I saw a stat where I think it was 39 states are backing the Pacers. I believe was the stat
That's
I saw
way
yesterday.
more than I've been seeing.
They've
Yeah.
gone from underdog
finally.
to
They kind
Get
of
the
aren't an
credit.
underdog
They're the
anymore,
Cinderella
right?
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
Is that
finally
what
seeing it.
The rung?
And speaking of double-double in the dollars and cents, we're coming up
Oh.
on a double dose of trouble in the real estate market. It has to do with abandoned,
Why
what we
you
call
gotta
zombie
bring us
homes. And
down?
also,
Zombies.
all of a sudden, for the first time across now this is not Indianapolis, but across America, there are 500,000 more sellers than there are buyers. So all of a sudden, it's going to be turning around to a buyer's market. And we haven't seen that for a long, long time. And I think it's got a lot of people in real estate shook up. But we're going to talk about that.
Okay, we'll do that next with Denny's Dollars and Cents right here on First Day, 93 WIBC.
Rapid
Voice on. You've got a friend in Denny. You've got a friend in Denny.
This makes me smile every week.
When the road looks
rough ahead.
Okay, Denny.
miles in your nice warm
I
bed.
used to sing this to my grandkids.
Just remember what your Denny said. You've got a friend in Denny, oh yeah. You've got a friend in Denny. Take it away. I hope it's good.
All right, you remember the Wizard of Oz when they were on the yellow brick road? And
by the way, I just saw some premiere of Wicked, the new Wicked.
Wicked for good.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it comes out on my birthday.
Toto's in
I'm
it.
so
we're
excited.
going. Your birthday's in November.
No, yeah, it goes
That's
out.
when it comes
out
out.
on
That's when it
November
comes
21st.
out.
The
Already
trailer
Anyway, you
just
remember
came
lions
out.
and tigers and bears?
Oh my.
Oh my, see? But we were all spooked out, and it turned out that it really wasn't a bad thing at all. But we really don't know what's going on in America's housing market other than reading the data. And in my data streams this week, I saw that the zombie market, which is a home that has been foreclosed on, but then abandoned, but it has not moved the title back to the bank. So the homeowner leaves the property because it's been foreclosed on, and then all of a sudden, nobody's taking care of the house, and it is called a zombie home. Well, those are going up, and Indianapolis, believe it or not, Marion County is in the top 5 in the nation in zombie homes. And that's really, I love this woman. So the zombie homes are creeping back in, and
He's
that's
talking about Kielynn.
No.
For those that can't see, Kielynn just came over and draped a
She's mad
Pacer
because I
banner
didn't
on
wear
it.
anything with Pacers on it. All right, so 30 states
He
and
wore
D.C.
his blue and yellow, though. Yeah, you
Hey,
did good.
Ladies, I'm really working hard on
I'm
this
not bothering you.
presentation.
It's
okay,
Kielynn.
okay. Yes.
I'm sitting right
Anyway,
here.
I've got my pencil now.
properties like this drag down the neighborhood, and then what has
These
happened?
zombie homes.
The zombie
we all
homes.
have them, no matter what
We
neighborhood
see,
you're in,
you can
right?
see them. They have been foreclosed on. People bid off more than they can chew. They abandon the house, but there's still a mortgage on it, but the title is still in their name, not the bank's. And so it's a nasty situation. But in
So they just let the house rot.
They let the right on the foundation. They don't care. In fact, usually they're at the maximum level of festivity because the bank threw them out, essentially. All right, so you combine that with the fact that for the last 10, 15 years, because we have so much money thrown in from the federal government, that you could buy a house and interest rates were low. Remember the 3% mortgages?
I do.
Oh, my gosh. Well, that's not there anymore.
I know.
So now for the first time in several quarters, we have more sellers. We have 500,000 more sellers than we have buyers. So
There's not many, excuse me, so there's not many bidding wars going on.
There's not many bidding wars. Now, this is regional. It'll have to, Indianapolis might be entirely different than the rest of the world, and that takes place. But foreclosures and legal actions and the housing boom has flipped from boom towards bust. And this, again, is just data that we've seen. If you look on Redfin, they've got 1.9 million sellers versus 1.4 million buyers. And San Diego is down 30% year over year. Again, Indiana is different, but there is no relief in interest rates, and that's what's concerning so many people. Interest rate, it's an affordability index. So something has to give. You got all these pent-up buyers who want to buy, but they can't afford anything. Well, supply and demand is about to change, and there will be more sellers. And so what we could anticipate, and what I think a lot of the experts are anticipating, is that all of a sudden people who are empty nesters or getting ready for retirement might say, I'm not waiting any longer. It's looking ugly. I think that I want to go ahead and just put my house on the market. So if we get that big flush of more sellers, then all these buyers who've been waiting patiently for the affordability index to come down. So there's good news and bad news for those of us who have homes and might be thinking about selling. Terry, I know you've wanted to move for a long time.
Yeah.
But
kind of been looking.
the thing is if all the sellers go to the market at the same time, the buyers are finally going to be able to buy houses. So no relief from interest rates. The housing boom has flipped from boom to bust. And I think the anticipation from most economists right now is that their prices are likely to start to come down. I'm not going to say plunge.
Everybody.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Well, it'd be nice for a change for a minute because it felt like for a long while there was no way people could get that dream house they were looking for because people were outbidding them and paying more than what the house was even valued.
And
it was
parents
crazy.
and grandparents were helping up with cash to get the down payment up so they could do it. All right, so who do you think the sellers are? This is what surprised me. They're sellers like us, single-family home owners.
That's who's selling.
Yeah, but You also have the Airbnb investors.
Yeah.
We've got Airbnb in our neighborhood, and I would have never thought it would have been in the country, but every weekend we have cars coming into these houses because we have Grand Park really close to us in Westfield.
Oh, see, how brilliant is that? I mean, really, to have a house that close to something
right.
of that magnitude.
But those Airbnb investors are going to see the value go down, and they've got mortgages on those properties, or they got debt on those properties. So they might.
Now that's interesting to look at the B&B side of it all,
well, wait
right?
a minute, there's worse. All these Wall Street firms that went in and with these great big housing trusts, they put in these great big pools of money, and they put some sort of investment on Wall Street. And they bought up all these. Well, remember in Fishers, you can't have more than 10% rentals.
Right.
Carmel just did the same thing. Those are not individuals buying those homes and putting them in the market for rental. Those are big Wall Street firms, or they're big, capital pools that are doing that. So whenever their balance sheets are going to be compromised, I think they will be the first one to flush the market with supply. Again, that'll be good for kids who've been waiting to buy houses. Young. Kielynn, I'm looking at you because you're younger than us by far, but you might have that chance to buy a house, and that's the house. You get married, you fill it up with kids, but there's a whole generation that hadn't been able to do that. So the thing is that the housing market is flashing some real warnings. The zombie homes, people always ask me, would you buy a foreclosed on home? I would not buy it as is, and I would make sure that the bank backed up at least a home inspection and, for the foundation and everything else to make sure that would happen. But the housing market's flashing these warning signs with the rising foreclosures, the inventory overload that's coming, and a seller panic. If the Wall Street firms and Airbnbs do start to panic, you're going to see a flush to come into the markets, whether it's central Indiana or whether it's Arizona, Florida, wherever it might be. So whether you're buying or selling or staying put, now's the time to really pay attention. If you're buying, I would say be patient. If you're selling, I would say watch your market very, very carefully. Get a hold of somebody who knows your market. Of course, we love the folks at Crossroads Collective.
We do.
Greg and Lisa. But the station has lots of people who are also in the real estate business. So listen carefully and just pay attention. So there you go.
You look like you're wearing your choir robe.
I know.
He's even holding his hands like he's got a choir robe on.
You can join us on
Pacer
live
banner.
stream, YouTube 93 WIBC. We're live there. You can see a little bit of
Denny.
Denny's Pacers gear.
Yeah.
Nicely done, Denny.
Bless you, my
with your
daughters.
dollar
Bless you, my
cents.
daughters. You have sinned. And I
Very
will.
good. Very good.
Bless the Pacers while you're at it.
Bless the
Pacers while you're
God
at it.
bless the Pacers.
It's 67 degrees and cloudy skies for all of you that are waiting in that long line to get into Great Brothers Cafeteria today, because it is their last day. And for the past couple of weeks, the lines have been an hour long. I can't imagine how they're doing today. But Mooresville, yep, sad news. Last day for Gray Brothers, closing the doors, I believe, at 7 o'clock tonight. I should double check that time. Anyway, it's worth the wait, because guess what? We'll never get that fried chicken again. We'll never get that chocolate meringue pie again. It's over. I wish there was a solution to this. I'd love to have that fireplace. I'd like to buy that building for a home. Although they say it's just falling apart.
The traffic, you have.
It's right there. It's yeah. But anyway, yep. It's the last day for Grays, and that makes us sad after decades. I know it's made a lot of folks sad, but I saw somebody waited the other day, an hour in line out the door, 20-minute wait to get a tray, and then 30 minutes to wait because they were out of chicken. But they said it was so worth the wait because they will never get that fried chicken again. I get it. I do. Coming up, we've got another hour of the first day, and Chris Denari will join us.
I'm looking forward to that. Chris Denari, he's ridden that mule for a long time.
I know
like
it.
19 years.
19 years,
19
I think.
years. And it'll be good to hear his thoughts.
Yeah, and he's been very excited. I believe he's the one that I heard last week that said this is destiny. He felt it, destiny. After watching all of these years and calling Pacer games, he felt like this was destiny. So maybe, but can't wait. It's tonight. This is the big one. Big game tonight. A lot of people downtown already celebrating. I think. I mean, I know we don't really have anything going on right now, but there are more people down here today on a Sunday morning than I've seen in a while. This is the first day. Terri Stacy, Denny Smith, and Kielynn Talley. And thank you for watching us on YouTube. We'll be back after today's top stories on 93 WIBC. Go Pacers. There you go, Denny.
One in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot
first day on 93 WIBC. Terri Stacy along with Denny Smith.
Good morning, darling. And don't forget the sweet little girl over in the Pacers shirt over there, or the Yes Sirs.
Boom, baby. That's our
Kielynn
girl.
Tally.
67 degrees and cloudy skies on this game day. Pacers Thunder, 8 o'clock tonight, Kielynn.
Whoop, whoop. Let's go. I hope you have fun, however you're watching it, wherever you do. You want some game day hype?
Please.
Yeah, yeah.
Off the mark, won't go.
Rebound, Indiana. 8 seconds to go.
The Pacers with a chance to win it.
Halliburton has it with 3, driving with 2.
Pulls up, jump shot.
And hitting!
It's good.
There's
I
no
love hearing Mark Will
Seconds
just go
to
crazy.
Truly.
Ultimate confidence in himself.
Tyrese Halliburton does it again.
And it ain't over till it's over. Sweet baby.
How many more times can this team do that?
He's not afraid of
So
the moment.
fun.
He is the moment.
He's a baller, man. He's a hooper.
Boom, baby!
There you go. Leon with Slick watching overhead. So fun to see all the Pacer flags flying and fans wearing all the colors this week. Geotagged X data looked at the NBA Finals and the rooting interest around the country. 39 states, including Iowa, are back. Iowa, I don't know why they said including Iowa, are backed by the underdog Pacers. I'm not sure they're underdogs anymore.
I don't think so, but they are the Cinderella team.
They're
They are
still
the Cinderella.
underrated.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Basketball fans from other parts of the country who are watching the Pacers have said, here's to small market teams.
Yes.
Pure
Those 11
basketball.
states, I bet they were all big market states. And
Yeah. Says this is the way basketball is meant to be played, and it's great to watch. So we're getting a lot of new fans. We've got Pacer watch parties going on all over the state today. Everybody wearing your blue and gold. We've got to get to Chris Denari, who I believe, I'm not sure if he's still at Gamebridge as they get ready for the big night tonight, that watch party that is sold out. But let's talk to Chris Denari coming up after this break. Want to, Kielynn, take it now?
Let's do it. Let's
All
get
right.
to it.
Let's get to Chris Denari coming up next right here on the first day, 93 WIBC. Degrees and cloudy skies in downtown Indianapolis. And joining us now on game day is Chris Denari, who just, I think, finished up his 19th season as Pacers television play-by-play announcer. And, of course, you know him from the IMS radio network. Chris, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing great, Terry. How are you?
We're good. I'm so glad to have you with us. I know you've got a busy day and have been busy, but I saw this yesterday and I thought it was so interesting that Geotagged X data looked at the NBA Finals and the rooting interest around the country, and 39 states all backing the Pacers. And so would we still consider them an underdog?
I think they still are, even with all those fans that across the 39 states that are rooting for the Pacers. I think they are still an underdog. I think even after a Game 1 win, they're still a big underdog tonight. But that's how they've liked it. I mean, if you think about all the series, even though they were the number 4 seed and Milwaukee was the number 5 seed, I think they felt like the underdog. Many people picked Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Bucks to win. They were clearly the underdog in the Cleveland series. Cleveland had the best record in the East. And they were clearly the underdog in the Knicks series. So no surprise that they continue to be an underdog against Oklahoma City, who had the best record in the NBA during the regular season. And I think Pacers and their fans are comfortable with that.
Chris,
Denny.
this is Denny Smith. I know you're married. I know that you've got 2 sons, and you probably got grandkids by now. But what about that generation? What about your sons and maybe their families and kids? What's going on in their heads? They have not seen this before, have they?
No, my boys, let's see, I've got 3. I've got 35, almost 33, and 28.
Oh, my gosh.
So, yeah.
We still think of Chris as a kid.
I mean, they were little guys, the last time the Pacers made it to the NBA Finals. I think my oldest was 11. And then we have 3 grandsons, one that lives here, and he's 3.5. And he loves the Pacers, and in particular, his favorite player is Obi Toppin. And he loves Obi, and he can mention Obi Toppin, and one of his goldfish was named Obi. So,
oh my gosh, I love that.
Yeah, so I think it's just really cool to see so many generations experience this. I mean, you think back to the late '60s, early '70s. Pacers win 3 ABA titles. So you have the people that remember that and the great days at the Coliseum. Then, of course, in the 90s, you have Reggie and going to the NBA Finals in the first year that the field house was built. And then you had, 2012, 13, 14 had a pretty good run there with Paul George and David West and George Hill and Roy Hibbert. And now here we are a decade later in a place that has just united the city. I mean, that's the thing that I think is so cool is going around town and seeing people wear their Pacers shirts or their jerseys or their hats, flying Pacers flags. And, JMV told me the other night he was at the Ale Emporium and he left at halftime to go home. And he said the streets were empty. He's driving through Fishers and he goes, it's 9:30, 9:45 at night.
Yeah.
And you think there would be some traffic?
Oh,
He goes,
no.
there was nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like everybody was somewhere watching the game.
It's so cool. And when we say that, and I mentioned this earlier about what this does for us, it's right now, when the news is crumbing, I mean, the news makes us feel like we're really divided. It's this team that has brought everybody. You look around the arenas and you look around in the streets and at the bars, and it doesn't matter your economic background, your race, your politics. It's brought everybody together. And like you said, I think that's such a cool part of it. Kielynn, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, what an exciting time that you guys got to experience. I was swinging in my bassinet when this happened 25 years ago. So getting to experience this now, we're rolling off the excitement of going off of the month of May straight into these games. Chris, for you got to go right into all of it. What has been your favorite part of this playoff run and now these NBA Finals?
Well, I mean, it's seeing these guys grow together. I mean, I think we felt it a year ago with going to the Eastern Conference Finals, and they brought the same group back, and they got off to a slow start, but they had some significant injuries. I mean, Andrew Nembhard was out for a while, Aaron Nesmith, Ben Shepherd, and I think even though you have 2 All-Stars in Halliburton and Siakam, it's the 8, 9, 10, 11 guys that play on a nightly basis. That's the strength of this team. So I really like how they persevered after a slow start. And just like we saw in Game 1 on Thursday night, we've seen throughout the playoffs, we saw it the regular season, this team is never out of it, and they have a firm belief that they can always come back. Now, you'd like for them not to get behind like they do, but it makes it makes for a little nerve-wracking basketball. But I think that's the thing that I like. I like seeing that, and to your point, I think just seeing everybody so excited. We know what sports can do for a community. You see it all the time. And we're feeling it right now with the Pacers.
Yeah, it's so fun. Chris Denari is with us, the legend. 19th season he just passed as the Pacers television play-by-play announcer. You know who he is. I promise you, I do go just moment by moment and game by game, but I can't help but look ahead just a little bit and wonder what this team might look like next year. Is there who might leave? Any thoughts on that, Chris? Do we know?
No, I mean the only free agent is Miles Turner, and they had extended him a couple of years ago, and they couldn't do it this year. They would have, but they weren't allowed until the end of the season. I can assure you, he doesn't want to go anywhere, and the Pacers don't want him to go anywhere. So I would believe that this team will be back in whole. I mean, you can never say never. I mean, it's pro sports, and you have no idea what is down the line.
Right.
And that's why I've said you just enjoy the moment.
Right.
But I think this group, they proved to everyone by staying together, they even got better. So I believe that will continue to happen. You're in a real sweet spot for this Pacers franchise right now. Really all of Pacers sports and entertainment, when you think about a year ago, getting Caitlin Clark in the draft, #1 with the Fever. I just think that we're in a real opportunity here to have success for a number of years.
It's really exciting to watch, Chris. I want to get your perspective of Coach. He has always seemed so low-key, and yet he must have some magic. He did it in Dallas, and now he's doing it in Indianapolis. What's your reaction to his coaching style?
Well, he is a basketball savant, I would say, and he is a guy that has really adapted to his talent. If you think back in the first time he was with the Pacers, they played much slower. He called all the plays, and it was a more orchestrated situation by the coach. Then he went to Dallas. He realized he had Dirk Nowitzki, Jason Kidd. It didn't make much sense to call those plays. He had outstanding players. And he's done the same thing with the acquisition of Tyrese Halliburton. This is a team that, is a free-flowing team. They play from an offensive standpoint, read and react. And, there are some subtle plays here and there are some plays to get, into the offense. But for the most part, he has given these players the freedom to do the things that they're really good at. And I think that's the sign of a great coach. I mean, this is a Hall of Fame coach, and he has a chance to win 2 titles with 2 different franchises. And not many coaches in the NBA have ever done that.
Let me follow up with that just a bit. When he was at Dallas, he brought in a Purdue star, Brian Cardinal, who had not really seen a lot of glory in Dallas. And then all of a sudden during the playoffs, Brian comes in and he just makes some magic. Has he done the same thing with a particular player here on the Pacers?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, I think, if you talk about the Hoosier roots, if you will, it was the Pacers acquiring Thomas Bryant, the former IU standout, back in December from Miami. And he's a guy that Rick Carlisle has turned to many times. Think back to Game 6 of the Knicks series. Thomas, who had been in the rotation, then was out of the rotation, he comes in and hits 3 threes that helped propel the Pacers to the win. So, yeah, here's another Indiana connection, if you will. You talked about it. Brian Cardinal was so impactful back in 2011, and Thomas Bryant has been very impactful off the bench for the Pacers here in 2025.
We're talking with Chris Denari, TV play-by-play announcer for the Indiana Pacers. There has been a lot of chatter around the Pacers, with them being underdogs, with them being underrated, and now all this small market conversation. Have you had any reaction to being in the midst of all of this chatter around the Pacers?
Yeah, I listened to it from a national perspective, and I've even had a number of national people, tell me, hey, we were wrong. We just didn't pay that much attention to the Pacers, so we didn't necessarily know how good they were. And it's something that, doing the games locally on a regular basis, you see what this team is all about. All of a sudden, it's on more of a national stage in the playoffs. There are more eyeballs, and now people who maybe didn't pay attention to them during the regular season are seeing them for the first time and saying, oh, my, this is a really good team. So I think a lot of people honestly have had to eat their words because they weren't committed or sure of how good this team is or was, and they've joined the party now.
My husband and I were talking about this last night. We've heard from a lot of people, of celebrities and everybody about this team, about the Pacers, but I haven't seen anything from Larry Bird. Have I missed that? Has Larry chimed in at all? Because Larry was the one that took him to the game 25 years ago, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, Larry is still involved as a consultant. We don't see him all that much. I think he lives in Florida, most of the time. And it'll be interesting to see if, I was listening to ESPN radio, I think, the other night, and they wondered if in the finals, if you might see Larry Bird come back. And what has been cool is during that Knicks series, Roy Hibbert was back. Oh. Darren Collison was back. Danny Granger was back. Wow. George Hill was back. Lance Stevenson. Oh, you had all those players that played for Larry back in 2000, Rick Smits, Dale Davis, Antonio, Jalen Rose. So it would be cool to see all of those players back again for the finals, and maybe we'll see Larry as well.
That'd be so cool. That would be so cool. Denny, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Chris, I just want to tell you how proud we are for you.
Happy for you because 19 years, and then covering even before on Fox 59.
Well, but he's a Wabash College kid.
And played ball himself.
He did.
Did you always dream of hitting that last shot? Like that's been happening, that dream of, do all kids, all young athletes have that dream, I'm going to hit the winning shot. Yeah. Did you, Chris?
I think so. I mean, I was very fortunate. I played high school basketball at Westfield for my dad, and then I went to Wabash and played for 4 years, and that's where I got the broadcasting bug. And I realized I really didn't want to be a coach, but I still wanted to be around the game. And so sometimes it's a pinch me moment. I'm sitting courtside, calling games of the best players in the world. And, it's been a dream for me. I mean, I was the voice of Butler for 17 years. I did the Fever for 18 years, was the radio TV play-by-play person when they went to the finals in 2009, 1 in 12, went back to the finals in 15. You're right. I've sat and turned 4 at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So, for a kid that grew up calling fake games into a tape recorder when I was a kid, it's pretty cool to do it in real.
It can really happen. I'm very happy that you are still a part of this whole thing, even though they've taken the broadcasts nationally. Tell us about the watch party and being there in Gainbridge Fieldhouse, especially this last game. Oh, my goodness.
Will you be there? Did you go to Oklahoma City, Chris?
I went to Oklahoma City, so I was not there at the watch party on Thursday. I was at the first 2 watch parties for the New York series, and it was incredible. And seeing the video of Thursday night, not just at that watch party, but all the bars and restaurants across Indiana. I will be at the watch party tonight. Jeremiah Johnson went to Oklahoma City. In fact, he'll be on a plane here shortly. You got to give a lot of credit to Herb and Steve Simon, the Simon family, Stephen Rails, the owners of the Pacers. They made it possible for every Pacers sports and entertainment employee to go to Oklahoma City. I was among half the staff that went on Thursday. The other half of the staff is going today, and that's why JJ will be on the plane now, and I'll be back with Eddie White hosting the watch party tonight.
Okay, that should be so fun. So fun.
What an era to be part
of. Okay, well, I was going to say thoughts on tonight's game. What are you thinking?
Well, I hope for a little better start, but we know this team is capable of coming back from a deficit. I just would like to breathe a little bit more in the first half and the third quarter. Yeah, than the fourth quarter. So, but I think they got their NBA Finals jitters out of the way. You could tell the team was a little antsy early. This is a very good Oklahoma City team. I mean, only 6 or 7 teams in the history of the NBA have won 68 or more regular season games, and that's what Oklahoma City did. But the Pacers proved, I think, to the world just how good they are, and boy, it sure would be great to come home 2-0. Remember, they have led 2-0 in each of the first 3 series. 2 home wins against Milwaukee, 2 road wins against Cleveland, 2 road wins against New York. So let's just make it easy and make it a 2-0 lead for the Pacers again.
Have fun tonight, Chris. Thank you so much for giving us all this time today. I know your schedule's busy. Chris Denari, Pacers TV play-by-play announcer, and you also know him and hear him right on the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Radio Network. Chris, thank you.
All right, thanks.
You bet. It's the first day, 1226, 93 WIBC.
Hello, my name is Nate Clancy. I'm with Labor's Local 120. I've been with Labor's Local 120 for over 40 years now.
For members of Labor's International Union of North America, giving back is part of their commitment to the Indy community, like helping the Soapbox Derby.
We painted the bridge. The Wilbershaw Bridge is an iconic bridge for the Soapbox Derby. It's been there forever. It was, needing work.
When Indy or surrounding communities need help, LIUNA steps up.
Members that went over there, we seen that it was needing work, power washed, done the painting, just anything that was needed, and it looks amazing now.
This is Chris Bricky, business manager of Labor's Local 120. While all our members are skilled, highly trained men and women, we are also your friends, neighbors, Little League coaches, and volunteers here in Indy.
This is Indiana.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm proud to represent a city where the passion meets the gritty and the blue collar flows to the streets. And this here is my anthem that'll make y'all start dancing. Let me talk about this bona fide team. We got Tyrese Halliburton.
Amen. No, not yet. Don't talk.
An engine empire. He's always been hard.
Not yet.
You over, got that lockdown D.
12:30.
You know that Pascal Siakam really got this place rocking too smooth with the mid-range piece. And Miles Turner with the block party banging just like Lottie Dottie. He can even step back for three. Aaron Neesmith, y'all don't want to mess with. He'll pick your pocket like what the hell he just did. And Benedict Mathurin, yo, it all matters when he's on the floor. Yeah, we're gonna win. Yes, sir, it's time to shake the tree. A brand new model,
So
not a
good.
brand new team.
This
Yes,
is Josh
sir. Indiana roots and
Chalfant.
dreams. A Midwest thing, it's a family thing. Yes, sir. Out here
He's
doing
so
the thing.
good. I
He's
love
from out
it.
of Danville, Indiana.
Game anthem now.
Trying to get this guy more publicity because it's a really good song. I know there's a lot of Pacer songs out there right now. This is called Yes Sirs by Josh Chalfant. And again, he is an Indiana guy that wrote this song. He's been on with JMV on our sister station 107.5 and 93.5 The Fan. I think he's awesome. We tried to get a hold of him, but unfortunately, he's just gotten really busy, and that's great. No, unfortunate for us, but fortunate for him that this song is getting him a lot of attention. I know TV's been wanting him, but JMV for sure really put a spotlight on him and kind of got the ball rolling on what a great song this is. Okay, it's called Yes Sirs, and you can find it where, Kai?
Anywhere
streaming?
you get it. Yeah, Spotify, your Apple Music, YouTube, anywhere. Yes, sirs. Josh Chalfant, Chalfant. And while we're speaking Pacers, again, some watch parties. You know them. You've got, obviously, Gamebridge. Hopefully you get to go if you got your tickets.
It is
Anger.
sold out, just so you know. It is sold out. You cannot go to that one if you don't have a ticket.
Yes. Tom's Watch Bar. You got the Hangar Indy.
JMV will be at Tom's.
Yep. Fisher's Nickel Plate Amphitheater. Their outdoor bash. And then the dueling piano bars in Broad Ripple. And then I'm so sorry that you guys missed it, but Walk and Talk Indy had some basketball walk and talks in honor of the NBA Finals. Sorry that you missed them, but he has another walk and talk coming up this week on Thursday because it is Walk and Talk's 5-year anniversary celebration.
Congratulations.
So they're doing another walk and talk down on Indiana Avenue. Go follow him, Walk and Talk Indy, to catch out more history for Indiana.
Speaking of history, Donald Trump has a birthday coming up on the 14th.
That's Flag Day.
He turned 78 years old. He never got a parade until next weekend, a grand parade. But he wants you to know that is not really a celebration of his birthday. This is a celebration of the 250th anniversary of the Army.
Oh, that's right.
But he says it is going to be amazing. This will happen in Washington, D.C. I'm sure we're going to be watching it live somewhere. It is now expected to include 28 Abrams tanks, 28 Stryker combat vehicles, 28 Bradley fighting vehicles, an array of other vehicles, 6,700 soldiers from across the country. This is going to cost about $45 million. He says this is peanuts. It's going to be Reagan National. If you're going to be flying, just so you know, Reagan National Airport will halt all takeoffs and landings for several hours, and even the waterways on the Potomac are going to be closed. A parade was going to take place along Constitution Avenue. Again, the celebration focused on the Army's 250th years of service to this country, not on politics, it says. This is a day to honor soldiers past and present and highlights the Army's role in American history. I agree with that. Should be celebrated. 250 years, truly.
Absolutely.
It is remarkable that Donald Trump's birthday is on Flag Day and on the Army's birthday.
Coincidence?
Federal workers been told to work remotely so that the soldiers can sleep in their offices downtown.
Wow.
Yeah. David told me that last week about the offices of federal employees.
Hopefully they got
need to
showers in
be-
the basement
They're
like
going
we
to be
do. Otherwise,
sleeping. David thought it was interesting that when they travel, when they say, David, come to Washington, D.C., we need you to do some things here, that they put them up in fine hotels. But for the soldiers, they're going to have to sleep in their offices downtown, in the federal employees' offices downtown, which, again, it is what it is. I can't change that. But happy 250th birthday to our United States Army.
That was
right?
They were the first.
Army.
Yeah,
They were the first. I was just going to say first.
Army was first, then Navy, and then the Air Force came after as part of the Army. It was called the Army Air Corps, and now we've even in addition to the Coast Guard, but we've also got the Space Force.
Oh, I always forget about the Space Force. What are they doing?
One of my instructors was a lieutenant colonel in the Space Force. It's big time. It's
well,
almost,
I mean, where are they? What's happening with them? What are they
they're
doing?
watching all the satellites. They say one of the next theaters of war will be in outer space, and I believe that
That's
because of all
true.
all the satellites out there.
Right, and who owns what? As far as space.
We don't even know
who's allowed to do what in space.
We don't even
Who's
know who
watching
owns the Sea of Japan and the Sea of the Straits of Taiwan. We're arguing over that stuff. You
Imagine
imagine
how big the Space Force is.
Yeah. Hey,
is it big? Is it a big force?
I don't know how big it is. I don't really know that, Terry. But it's an important. It was started in 2016, 2018.
Trump started it, right?
Trump started it. That's right. It was a wise move because that's where the warfare might be.
I agree with that.
Hey, I don't know about you guys, but there's a big event coming up. Have you heard about this strawberry thing? It's new.
The one on the circle?
Yeah, isn't that?
Yeah,
it's coming up.
I think everybody comes downtown for it.
Oh,
yeah,
I've seen lines wrapped around it twice, around the actual circle.
And the food goes quick.
Yeah, the 14 semi-trucks full of strawberries. I guess so.
I've heard about it. Should we get to it? We've got a guest coming in.
Let's talk about it.
We'll do that next. We'll include that in food news. We will. That's coming up. Thanks for joining us here on the first day. 93. Oh, I see some skies are brightening. That's good news.
It's because of the
I lost
strawberries.
a windshield wiper today. I was at the drive-through window and the windshield wiper just flew off of the car. It just flew off. So I was hoping and praying on my side, on the driver's side. I'm
You
hoping
sound
that
like
there's
a
no
fifth
rain.
grader trying to explain
Trying to
something,
get
how
from
he
the-
lost his
telling
homework
you
to his
what,
mom.
One more thing happens to me from the east side driving downtown. I'm telling
Man,
you.
I get it. I had a rock go into my windshield.
I've now lost 2 tires. Now because of all the construction.
No more bad news. No more bad news.
I'm so sorry. The only thing that'll calm me down is strawberries and shortcake. 12:41 news. No, not the news, but we'll have a
Food
break.
news.
And then we'll have food news on 93 WIBC.
Strawberry fields forever. Strawberry fields forever.
No, this is not a song by AI. This is the Beatles.
I hate that we're going to have to tell the next generation all that.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll have to have a conversation on AI and the whole thing. But regardless, we're going to get into it later.
Oh, we're doomed.
We're not doing
basically. I mean, again, I hate to be that.
God, you have been a pistol today.
It's very.
You give me a
very
cup from the
dark.
trash can so I can get a
dark.
glass of water.
It's that drive I make in, you guys. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to bring that into the
You know
building,
what?
but every time I come from the east side here, they have just made it virtually impossible. You don't want to hear it, and I'm not going to talk about
Terri,
it anymore.
Just like our guest said just a moment ago during the break, let's spread joy.
Let's spread joy.
Let's do it.
Let's
That
do
would,
it.
Shall
that
we?
would be Elise Shrock for
Yeah, from
Food
the Christ
News.
Cathedral. Yes. Welcome in, Elise. Thank you so much for coming in on a Sunday.
Yeah, I was telling Denny my foot commute isn't exactly
So a quarter of a,
long.
a quarter of a pass around the circle.
Yeah.
From the church.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be with you all.
So,
how long have, we're going to talk about the Strawberry Festival, guys. If you don't have this on your calendar already, Strawberry Festival is Thursday.
Yep, Thursday, June 12th.
How many years?
This is going to be the 59th year of the fest.
It's really one of those things that you just don't want to miss. And you can look outside of our window on Monument Circle. You know what? This will be our last one. Again, I don't mean to be
we're
so
moving.
gloomy.
well, let's talk about the shortcake.
I'm so sorry.
Do you guys make your own shortcake?
Yes, those are scratch made by almost 100 volunteers. And what I think is really cool is, all of the proceeds past covering the cost of the festival go to local nonprofits in central Indiana. And then a lot of those nonprofits send us volunteers when it's time to make shortcakes during what we call Bake Week.
Everybody wins.
Yeah, so it's a real community event. It's really everyone coming together to do good.
This recipe, you guys, I remember I've heard of the legend of the recipe on where it comes from. And this comes from England.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
This is a really old recipe.
That's so cool.
That came. You tell them.
Yeah.
Elise.
So this was originally an idea that came from a woman named Pat Harding, and she was a parishioner, and she also helped out around the church, and she was trying to raise money for the cathedral, and she thought, well, let's capitalize on folks leaving work at LS Ayers, and she made 100 shortcakes in the very first shortcake festival or strawberry festival. Nate Gore, who was the sexton at the time, helped her pull it off, and they sold out. And that was the first strawberry festival in Indianapolis on the circle from Christ Church Cathedral. So it was really, you don't mess with church women. If
No,
you
you
tell
don't.
them we need to raise some money, we need to do something,
It's a truth.
they're going to get it done.
They make
and she
sure it
did.
gets done.
And now, years later, it's become we've got the race. That's the official start of summer. And then you've got the Strawberry Festival.
For sure.
And that's how we keep it going.
Yeah.
You guys spend this baking week and you sell out every year immediately. It does not run until 4 p.m. It's come and go. Oh my gosh. How many did you make this year in preparation?
So we made 15,340, I believe. And we had so much help making these shortcakes that we actually were ahead of schedule. We were able to end Bake Week a day early because so many folks literally rolled up their sleeves and helped out.
Do they
We're so
do they
grateful.
donate the shortcakes, or are they supplying this themselves, or do you guys have
we all, the science behind this is pretty incredible, the ordering, because there are literal tons of ingredients that go into pulling all of this off.
I'll bet.
And so we do cover the cost. So when you are purchasing your shortcakes, know that you are contributing to the effort. So we cover the cost, and then everything past the cost goes into our Strawberry Festival grants.
I think this is the standard of what a shortcake should taste like with strawberries.
We've been spoiled
It's
with
like
sort
the
of a
best
soft.
biscuit.
These are so
but
sweet.
these have got some stout.
So they don't become soggy. They're
Yeah,
not
they're-
soggy, and
Do you know what
they
I
really
think
are
the
the standard.
secret is, in my opinion?
Soda pop.
Because
Is it
I've
love?
made like 1 million of these at this point. The butter.
It's butter.
The butter, like the way that we marble the butter in when we're just like cutting the butter in, is done to perfection.
Did Pat Hardy teach you that technique? Because I feel like I've talked to Pat It's probably been 10 years ago, but she was a part of, she was right on site.
Rest her soul. She was an integral part of how this festival was passed down to, the next generation who's really running it right now. But we're still using that same recipe.
I love it. And you should always, because it really is the standard. When you have strawberry shortcake from other places, it will not taste like this. And I think this is the standard. I just love it. How much is it for the works this year?
It's $10, cash or card, for the works. And that is one of our scratch-made shortcakes, strawberries, vanilla ice cream, and whipped topping. And you can buy, if you have a certain way you like your shortcake put together, there's a la carte items, I believe, for $2. And there are certain people that would, they leave the ice cream off or they leave the whipped topping off. Everybody has a way that they like it. And I love that because $10. We would love for folks to, round up because it is a charity festival. But you can get creative with how you like it if you have dietary needs.
It was $10 last year. And I think it's crazy that you guys are keeping it to $10 because
everything else has gone up.
Everything. Have you guys had to take a hit? More?
Well, we're gonna have to evaluate that this year. We did raise prices a couple years ago because of the rising costs. So we really, it was years and years and years and years before we had to do that. And we really want it to stay an accessible, family-friendly opportunity on the circle. So we're going to evaluate and, do what we can to find that balance where it's accessible to our community and we're able to make sure that we are raising funds so that we are doing the good that is intended for the festival to go back out into the community.
Where all does the money go?
We have over the years contributed to hundreds of organizations in the form of our Strawberry Festival grants. Places like Bright Lane Learning, places like Coburn Place, Exodus, Refugee and Immigration, so many. They're Outreach Incorporated. There are many, and we give them out to dozens a year. So it's a real way for you to feel like you are doing good when you come out.
When you come out and feed yourself.
And treat yourself and treat your community.
Yeah, it's really turned into something. I've watched it, but now they've added entertainment. Just little by little, it becomes bigger and bigger. And as I said, I have seen it where the line is wrapped completely around Monument Circle. Nobody complains.
What's the entertainment?
Everybody loves it.
It's singing, dancing.
So this year we'll have music piped in. Okay. In the past, we've had mariachi bands. We've had
you never know who's going to show up.
Performers. We think, now we've got Spark Park, so folks can take their, shortcake to the Spark Park. So it is a great event. We can also pre-order.
I was just going to say, can you still pre-order?
You can pre-order for orders of 10 the works or more. You can go on to indystrawberryfestival.org or cccindy.org. And you can place a pre-order for 10 or more. And then there's a special line where you can pick all those up.
It's a door.
And that keeps that keeps things moving a lot quicker.
It does. I would highly recommend it. If you're on a time crunch, pre-order.
Yeah, and I think we're doing quickly. A line and not the door this year. So
the door. I used to love.
I know the door
going
was
around
fun.
the door. There was a door. I'm not going to tell you where the door was, but there was a door you could go into and pass the line to get your pre-order.
We use that because we have so many volunteers. That's where we if you volunteer, and we are looking for volunteers. We need about 50 more volunteers.
Okay.
Do they get a
free shortcake?
I was just going to say.
You get a free lunch. You get a free T-shirt.
Gee, I was going to say, can you get their shirt? You should get their shirt.
You get the shirt, and that that door is now where we send our folks so that we can feed them and things for
They'll tell you where the door is.
Tell me about the whipped cream.
The whipped topping.
Oh my gosh.
The whipped topping, actually, so for folks who have lactose issues, our whipped topping is lactose free.
No way.
It's too good.
So if that's something that stopped you in the past, just ask for no ice cream, but get the whipped topping.
Get the whipped topping.
We're talking with Elise Shrock, Christ Church Cathedral, for the 59th annual Indy Strawberry Festival. Go to cccindy.org to pre-order the works. Where should they go to volunteer? Is that the same website?
Yep, you can go to the same website, cccindy.org or indystrawberryfestival.org. Those are going to take you to the same page, and you'll find information about the festival, pre-order information. You'll find volunteer information, pretty much, and the history of the festival. So
history
all
of the festival.
This is so good.
It's really good.
Everything's good.
Forgive me because I don't know, but in the past it's always been run by the women's organization within the church. Is still?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so this is
the women, the Cathedral Women of Christ Church Cathedral, and they run everything from the festival, which spoons are selected for the festival, because
We
the
go
bowl
down
of
on the
the spoon affects the ratio of the bite.
Gosh, yeah.
Wow. Is that right?
All the way
Every
to
time.
You're
how
kidding me. Get out of here,
no,
woman.
No, it's true.
Really?
All the way to the grants and how the grants are administered. They do it all. Like
can't
I
wait to
said,
see how it's
church
done this
women,
year.
they get it done.
Oh my God. Well, you know the first rule here.
1,000 pounds of strawberries.
Okay. Do not miss this one,
Men are
really.
stupid. Learn to work around it.
Well,
What time does it
Don't
start,
let the men
Elise?
get into this.
Elise, what time does it start?
It starts at 9 a.m.
Okay.
It goes till 4 p.m. or until supplies last.
Until supplies
and they
last.
go quick. Be
All
there.
right. How much time, Kielynn, do we have?
We've got 30.
Let's go, Pacers, right?
Yes.
Let's go Strawberry
sir.
It's
Festival.
going to be a good day on Thursday.
It's going to be. Oh my gosh, of
you're so
course.
It's going to be a good day. Fuel up
It will.
to cheer
Oh
our
my
sirs
gosh.
on.
Okay.
Oh
You got
my
it.
gosh, I love that.
Everybody, thank you so much. Elise, thank you. And
Thank
thanks
you.
for the
Always a
strawberry
pleasure.
shortcake. Nothing like it in the world. We'll see everybody Thursday.
Wave goodbye, Elise.
Go Pacers. Go Pacers. Go,
Go
Pacers.
Pacers.
Go Pacers. Go Pacers. Go Pacers. Go.
Turning 65, new to Medicare, or just moved? If you qualify for Medicare and Medicaid, a Humana Dual Eligible Special Needs Plan, a DSNP, may give you the extra benefits you're looking for. A DSNP helps cover things like prescriptions and checkups, but it also helps pay for essentials too. With a Humana DSNP, you get $225 a month for eligible groceries, rent, utilities, and more. Plus, whatever you don't spend carries over to the next month. You may even get benefits like $0 copays on routine prescriptions, plus routine dental, vision, or hearing coverage. All of this could make a difference for your health and